About 10 years ago, today 2009, I was a second-year student in college. We were 5 friends: Rakesh, Tarek, Rahul, Shamim alias I decided together to do something adventurous on Friday the 13th. I would do a tour, and that year the day before Rakesh's birthday was November 14th, Silo Friday. 13 is double the fun, so we booked everything in advance. Rajasthan Jaisalmer tour special. One of the most haunted places in India. Kuladara village is 20 to 25 kilometers from Jaisalmer, so we were very excited. Though Rahul was a bit timid among us, we reached on time from Jaisalmer approximate. We want to do a desert safari for 2 days in the middle of 150 kilometers desert, and there was a tent arrangement. Afternoon on November 13th, we left for Jaisalmer on our way back. As we were driving towards our destination, leaving behind the setting sun, a sandstorm suddenly started. This kind of storm happens here in the afternoon, but it doesn't last long. On that day, the storm didn't want to stop. After a couple of days, when the storm stopped, the sun had already set, and the darkness was slowly engulfing us. Kilometers away from there again along the highway, the distance to Jaisalmer is about 60 kilometers. I realized that the direction was fixed and reached the highway. It may be quite night to go to Salmi. That day, I will see the full moon again. Excited. Meanwhile, Rahul is scared. When we finished the road and reached the highway, the night was like Swata, although it was not such a night for us, but it was quite night in the locality. There were tea shops at the intersection of the highway, water and food shops were also closed. In fact, the last bus of this route is at 6 in the evening, then the road is completely empty of drivers. The beautiful winter is coming, so a little fog has started coming down at night in the light of the headlights of the car. Only the grey sand on both sides of the fog and 2 thorny eyes in the middle of it are lying like a black snake lying on the back of the bush. More after an hour, the car was making a good noise. We all got out of the car and started looking at the environment full of smoke. In the moonlight, the desert was vast as far as we could see. Rahul did not get out of the house because of fear. I will continue to appreciate the environment. As we talk, the driver tried hard to stop us and said that the Kuldara area will start after another kilometer. Driver, you fix the car and bring Rahul. We can walk as far as we can, Rakesh said in Hindi, leaving behind the car with the help of mobile torchlight. The 4 of us slowly disappeared into the fog after about 20-25 minutes of walking, a flickering ray of light in the distance. I saw, and as I came a little closer, I saw a small tea shop on the side of the road in an empty area. All around I saw a skinny, worn-out old man with a few biscuits and things and a broken lamp sitting in the shop with a broken face and a tattered beard and a long old dirt on his head. The Rajasthani turbaned eyes are almost invisible, as if lost in some depth. A dirt road around the neck of Jupiter is lost in the grey desert to the west, eyes narrowing and looking a little better in the moonlight. I can make out that road to the west probably merges into a village. A question in my mind waking up: is this the time when a hoarse voice pierces the chest? Babura, that's the old man in the village Hindi house. We all startled and turned back to look at the whole thing. I could hear thump 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 sound. There is raw milk tea, camel milk, saying that the old man looked at us in the course of these few minutes of conversation, noticing an unusual and terrible change in the almost dark eyes, as if they were flashing in the light of a flickering lamp. I understood that Rakesh did not notice, so immediately said that it is cold, give it well and make tea. I was going to pull Rakesh a little closer and tell him about it. I doubted whether it had been a few minutes. At that time, the old man called again in a hoarse voice saying, "Tea is ready." The first fear I felt was as if an ice stream was flowing through my body. I was startled by the sound of car brakes and the sound of car horn. I looked back and saw that our car driver got out of the car and almost ran to us and pulled us by the hand and started panting and said, "Have you not eaten kizu? Get in the car quickly." "Why are you saying in all the cars, get in the car quickly?" I sat in the car after eating babazika and saw Rahul shaking with fear. As soon as he sat in the car, the driver pushed the car's accelerator forcefully and raised the speed to 50 and locked all the windows of the car. Screamed the almost unconscious car as it picked up full speed and miraculously saw the old man running at the same speed as the car, holding a tea glass in hand and tapping on the car window. Instead, a flaming ball of fire or a ball suddenly stopped and slowly faded into the darkness behind it, and with it a horrible show of hoarse screams slowly faded away. Incorporeal spirit heard from my Babuji one such night several years ago. I was returning with Jaisalmi to a couple despite my consent. After stopping the car and having tea at that old man's shop, he suddenly ran towards the open village screaming like a madman and disappeared. I somehow escaped with my life. The next day, we came with the police and found their dismembered bodies in the village. Everyone was scared. Is it a coincidence that happened to us? While we were thinking, suddenly the driver slowed down. When we asked, the driver asked us to look ahead through the front glass. I got scared and saw that as the car moves forward, a white shadow figure is slowly becoming clear in the fog. I came a little closer. A girl wearing a salwar kameez with a doctor's coat on her is standing with a small doctor's bag and showing her hand, asking for a list. But the driver is unusual in this night. We don't agree to stop. Why do we ask the car to stop? This girl comes towards us with a happy face. She looks like she is 5 to 6 years older than us. Rakesh approaches us and addresses us as Didi. He wanted to know if there was any problem. Now the girl says her name is Rupsa Chowdhury, a doctor from Jaisalmi Hospital. She has to go to see a patient in a nearby village in an emergency. The car she came in has broken down in the village and it is very important for her to return to the hospital today. No car gets here, no phone network to call someone in hospital. We don't have him in the car, then leave again. After a while we feel how the car is abnormal. The cold has increased. When I was going to open the window to get some warm air outside, the girl stopped me because when I asked to know, the girl asked me to look outside the window. Miraculously 2 camels were running on both sides keeping pace with the car, which is never possible in reality. We are cold in that Konkan. The girl started sweating with fear and said that even though she is a doctor who has been traveling on this road for many years, she believes in ghosts and the ghost house in this area is better than her and no one knows whether these are camel cars or not. When we hit the brakes, we hit the glass of the car and before we knew it, we saw that the road was closed in front of us and there was a huge wall. After turning the car a few seconds later, there was a loud noise behind the ground. Looking back, our eyes widened. The huge wall had collapsed and mixed with dust on the ground. How did the girl know about something? Before I went to ask, the camel car suddenly came in front of the driver. The driver could not control the diet and overturned. Then I don't remember anything else. When I regained consciousness, we are all lying in 6 beds in the hospital with the driver. Nothing happened to anyone. Surprisingly, we regained consciousness after about 18 hours. I asked about the girl. The doctor said that there was no girl in the car. At around 1 a.m. in front of the emergency gate of the hospital, they heard a loud noise and came out and saw 6 unconscious people in the middle of the car. While there was no one in the driving seat, after some time Rupsa Chowdhury asked about the lady doctor. The doctor said that there is no lady doctor working here by this name, then asked us to take rest. While leaving, suddenly stopped near the door, then said in Hindi, someone named Rupsa is working now. He doesn't do it, but he used to do it several years ago when he went to visit a patient in a village next to the village. He didn't lose. After some time, his rotting body was found in the photo of the village. Shamim says get up, then doctor says welcome and leaves. In the evening, we celebrate Rakesh's birthday in the hotel. Then we enjoyed the days we stayed in Jaisalmi, but we didn't leave the hotel at night. There was no question of going to Kula Dara. Friday the 13th was auspicious for us. Or evil is still not known. I am leaving today. Inshallah, I will see you again in another episode. Until then, keep listening to Nighttime Horror Story. Stay well, stay healthy. Allah Hafiz.